Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We are really excited to share this technology with you today. For those of you who are not familiar with VAI, VAI is an award-winning software developer. We are the authors of S2K Enterprise, which is an ERP solution for the mid-market space. We have over 40 years experience in selling wholesale distribution solutions. And as you can see, we have dealt with a lot of different companies and a lot of different shapes and sizes, all in the wholesale distribution marketplace, ranging in size from probably 20 million in sales to over 2 billion in sales. Our customers are in the pharmaceutical space, in the food space, in the durable goods space. They really range very broadly in the industries that they go after. But one of the things that really sets us apart is that we deal with both large and small organizations, and we get a good feel for what technologies have made significant improvements in their business. This is one of our customers. You can see they have a tremendous warehouse. I think it's over 500,000 square foot. They have over close to 100 different operations that they've acquired over the years, and they've grown very rapidly. And we're going to talk about some of the technologies that they utilize with our software. Another company like Concordance Healthcare in the healthcare field, really using a bunch of different technologies that we're going to cover today. Things like mobile, things like voice picking, customer portals, things like that to really enhance their business. And companies like Lepco, who have integrated conveyors and carousels into their warehouse and are using mobile devices to speed up their picking process, ensuring accuracy and on-time delivery. Also, web e-commerce with things like AI built in for recommending products. So there's a lot to talk about, and we're really happy to share this with you here today. So when we talk about the 5 technologies that are really driving growth in wholesale distribution, that we kind of break it down into 2 different segments, right? We kind of break it down into the customer experience side of the fence and technology that's available for warehouse and operations management, right? So there's 2 different flavors here, and one really drives and builds your relationships with customers, and the other side really affects your efficiency and your cost and your profit of your organization, right? So we're going to cover these 5 different technologies. So the technologies we're going to review today are mobile applications, sales, which encompasses CRM and marketing, okay, supply and demand planning, warehouse management, and also e-business and analytics. I'm also going to mention at the end 2 upcoming technologies that are really hot right now, which are robotics and AI. Those kind of get honorable mentions for me today, but I'll tell you how companies are using those solutions in the wholesale distribution space as well. Okay, so let's start with mobile. Mobile has really had a lot of growth over the last 4 or 5 years. And these are the different applications that we see in the mobile space for wholesale distribution. So a lot of people are using things like order processing, route sales, selling off a truck. If you have, especially in the food space, if you're doing route delivery, that's very popular. Proof of delivery has become very, very popular, where we're doing paperless delivery and signature capture. Warehouse management, real-time processing using mobile devices. You can kind of see the photo on the upper right-hand corner of somebody doing that, really making warehouse management very, very cost-effective. CRM, giving mobile devices to salespeople to access customer and sales data and also place orders and things like that, very popular. And also for field service, mobile, if your wholesale also does, service and repair, field service is a popular application for mobile as well. Today, we're going to concentrate on these 2 mobile applications, due to time constraints. We're going to talk about order processing and proof of delivery. For today's presentation, I'm going to use the S2K ERP suite as my product that I'm going to demonstrate. But really, when you look in the marketplace for solutions and technologies, there are many, many different vendors that sell solutions in that handle these types of processes. So let's look at order processing. And before we do that, I just want to give you the difference between what a web app is and a mobile app. When we talk to wholesale distributors, they always come back to us and say, well, this company has a mobile app, and this company has a mobile app. And I just want you to understand that there's a difference between a mobile web app and a mobile app, right? So the web app is basically a application that runs in a browser that was kind of designed to fit the mobile device. Some people call it responsive design or whatever, but it's still an app that's connected to the internet and connected to an application that's being served to the phone. Okay. If you ever use your phone and you click on it, it says no internet connection, you can't launch that app. That's a good indication that it's a web app, that it's being served, through a browser and needs a connection to a server. A true mobile app can really run connected or disconnected. So it's very important when you're looking at mobile apps to ask the software vendor, is this a web app or is this a mobile app? Can it run disconnected? Right. And basically what it means is that it will run local on the device. Typically, in this case, it'll download data to the device and sync it back with your ERP system if you need it to. And then it really allows you to take advantage of the touch navigation of the phone. It allows you to access the camera on the phone. So it's doing a lot of things that a local app can do that a web app cannot do, right? So just want to give you that. And so when you're looking for this type of technology, you always want to look for a mobile app. Okay, so here's a copy of the VAI mobile app for order processing. And what we're seeing in wholesale distribution is order processing apps are great apps to give to not only sales reps, but you can give them to your customers as well. So, we hear from a lot of wholesale distributors saying that this has really become a game changer for them, where their sales reps now can place orders for their customer right on their own personal mobile device. So if you have sales reps that go around and meet with customers, they can place orders off the phone. They can check maybe the status of an invoice or an open order, and customers can do the same thing. So one of the nice thing about it is you can typically these mobile apps can be branded with your company information, and you can, offer these to your customer. So you can take a mobile app branded with your logos, right? And then give your customers 24/7 access to placing orders or product information or availability or pricing, and have all that data synced down. So if I'm a customer, typically what would happen is when you sync the data down from the ERP, it'll only pull the items that the customer is interested in or that you offer to that customer, and the pricing and history and open orders from that account. So the original sync takes a little bit of time, but once it gets synced, only the updates are integrated with the mobile app. So it gets very quick once you get started. And what it looks like is this, you can have, if you're a sales rep, you can search for customers. So, you can look up your accounts that you deal with. You can do product inquiries. Some of the things that some of our wholesalers like is that, they have quick access to promotional products. A lot of times sales reps don't understand what products might be on sale right now or on promo, right? So having that right on their phone, they can access items that are on promo. They can also search by product category or by a description. And the other nice thing is they know immediately what's in stock and what's out of stock, how much they have available. If they drill into the items, they can see, more information. They can get pictures. They can look maybe for a due date on a PO when the item's coming in. You can see if this was a sales rep, you can give them price overriding capabilities. So there's a lot of great technology that makes this a very effective way to take orders. The other thing that I like, and a lot of our distributors like, that have multiple locations, whether it be multiple, retail outlets or stock rooms or even multiple warehouses, you can give the sales reps access to view inventory across multiple locations, and they'll know, hey, we don't have 30 in stock in our New York store, but we have it plenty in our California warehouse. So those types of questions and answers are really great for wholesale distributors. And what our customers are really experiencing with this is that they say a lot of times their customers might be on a job site, or they might be rummaging through their stock room, and it's great to have them have that order entry device right in their hand so they can place orders directly as they're looking at inventory or as they're on a job site, and they can check out and even collect a payment. You can actually send in transactions. A lot of mobile devices have credit card options where allow you to even send in an order that's been prepaid. So this is great technology and very, very popular in wholesale distribution. One of the other things that mobile apps can do is allow your accounts to get information about their, open AR, open orders with your company. So again, another benefit to having this mobile technology would be allowing your customers to view things like open AR, payment history, open orders, and be able to actually view or pay the invoice right from the mobile device. So rather than sending in a check or mailing in a check, your customers right from their mobile device can click on the invoices they want to pay. They can select it. It totals it up there. So I'm paying $2,038 here, as you can see, and then use my credit card to process payment. Right? You can also charge a convenience fee for that if you wanted to, charge them some of the service charges that you may get. But you can get your money faster. Your customers can get copies of invoices quicker. And it's really making a big difference for many, many of our accounts in the wholesale distribution space. Okay. And as I mentioned, here's just one of our customers. And what's great about what Jody said here is that, everybody knows how to use a mobile device. She mentioned even her 13-year-old kid has a mobile device. So the ability for customers to walk around their stock room and put items into their cart as they need them has really been a big benefit to them. So you can see our customers are really getting a great benefit out of this technology. Okay. The other mobile app that's really seeing a lot of traction is our proof of delivery app. And this really replaces the process. If you have your own trucks and you do your own delivery, the typical process is that the driver would go out with an invoice, and then the receiver would sign the invoice, and then you'd leave them a copy for the proof of delivery. What a proof of delivery app does is this replaces the process of doing the things that we just mentioned and gives them the ability to do a clean, efficient, paperless process where you confirm the delivery of the merchandise and then capture the signature on the mobile app. You can even take photographs of the delivery. Okay. You can process even returns or misships or rejections, and you can give the receiver a nice, clean proof of delivery ticket, either right there off the truck or on a mobile printer, or you can email it to them when they're done. Okay, so this is a very, very popular product. Just want to show you again the VAI version of this product. Again, there are a lot of different software solutions out there that do these types of things. But you can see you download the deliveries onto your mobile device as a driver. So these are all my stops. Okay. And then as I get to my first stop, I will either scan or just check off and verify what I've delivered. I can take pictures of the product, and then I can have the receiver sign the mobile device. Okay. Right after that, I can have, like I said, I can print a receiving ticket right then and there if you want to use a Bluetooth belt printer, or you can send out this proof of delivery via email that would basically go to the receiver's email as soon as you left. Okay. And this has made a world of difference for a lot of customers. One of our customers here, Barnwell Tires, is a tire wholesale distributor. And during COVID, they had a real, benefit to this because people weren't wanting to sign documents or, touch copies of invoices. And they just took pictures of the tires that they delivered. They put it in a recognizable, location, and they really, helped them with any disputes that they had. They had, he mentions here that they had 4 disputes on deliveries, and their supplier was able to, settle dispute, and it saved them a lot of money on chargebacks and things like that. So, proof of delivery is a very, very popular application if you have your own trucks. Okay. Let's switch gears and talk about our other customer service tool that's really seeing a lot of traction, which is sales, CRM, and marketing. I kind of, put these all together into one area because, and nowadays, having a CRM tool is good, having a marketing tool is good, but where wholesale distributors really benefit is having sales and marketing aligned together, and using tools that kind of join the sales and marketing efforts into one. And let me explain what I mean by that. So when you have your traditional sales processes of today, really you see companies do cold calls, customer telemarketing. They might go to trade shows, newspaper, magazine ads. They might send out a catalog for their products. And today, what we're seeing is there's a lot of digital marketing tools out there that can help you attract customers and nurture them for more business, right? And these are just some of the different types of tools that we're seeing wholesale distributors use to, facilitate sales and growth, right? So let me tell you about a couple of these just to give you a sense of, what it's all about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a company called 6 Sense and Zoom Info, right? So the bottom line here is, you want a 24/7 sales experience, right? Even though your sales reps are selling from you, let's say 9 to 5, that's not necessarily when people, notice they need something or want to buy or want to investigate, your products or services, right? So you want to have an engine that's working for you 24/7. And these types of tools that are out there can really help you do that. And let me explain what I mean by this. So let's take a look at 6 Sense, first of all. So what this product is it basically monitors your web traffic and monitors, anyone doing a keyword search, right? So let's say I happen to type in, I'm looking for plumbing supplies, or I'm looking for, whatever it may be that you're selling. Okay. 6 Sense, will you'll say what, web traffic you want to look for. And what they will do is they try to match, and it's not 100%, but they try to match the IP address of the person looking for that to a company IP address, right? So every computer has an IP address. Now, yes, some people may search from home or on a home computer, but if a person is searching from a business, 6 Sense will find who that company is from their IP address, and then you can allow 6 Sense to send that company and that IP address ads. So, you probably see this in your own, day-to-day life, right? If you're ever shopping for furniture for your house and, you searched on furniture and then all of a sudden you go somewhere else on another web page entirely and you're seeing ads for furniture. Okay. So that's what that type of software is doing. It's keeping your name out in front of people who are looking for that type of product. Okay. The other thing that 6 Sense can do is notify you of who the company is. Now, it doesn't know who the specific person is, but it knows who the company is. And this is where a tool like Zoom Info, comes in handy. So Zoom Info is really a huge database of company information and contacts. So what your sales reps could do is put that company information into Zoom Info and then find who is the contact at that company that might be interested in your product, right? So you might want to send it to something out to the purchasing agent, right? Versus, everybody in the company and doing blast emails. So now you've got this, contact that might be interested. And here's where a CRM system comes into play, right? So now you take that information and you put it into a CRM system. And a lot of CRM systems have hooks that work with Zoom Info to put this information directly into their CRM. So it doesn't matter the CRM. VAI has one called S2K Salesforce. There's Salesforce.com. There's HubSpot. There's Sugar CRM. There's a bunch of CRM systems. But basically now you're building a central repository for all of these accounts that might be interested in your products. Okay. And typically with a lot of these tools, including the VAI tool, you can put them into what we call a marketing sequence, right? And you can automate these sequences where you're sending out, specific things that you may want to let, these people know about who might want to buy your products and services. So you're basically going to nurture those accounts. You're going to prioritize to see who's interested and then really, ramp up your selling. So let's take a look at how these products, the marketing toolbox, the CRM, and even your website can play a role here. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Okay. So let's look at an example of a email marketing template that a wholesale distributor might do. So we find these companies. So obviously our customers are in this database, but we also have these people who might be searching for, let's use plumbing supplies as an example. And they might be looking for plumbing supplies, and you just now sell a new brand of plumbing supplies or a new product line. What you can do is put all of the people who are interested in that product, category into a sequence where an email goes out announcing that. And then the email marketing tools that are out there based on the behavior of that customer, whether they ignore it or open it, can automatically kick off a series of follow-up emails for you where you're not having to do this manually, right? So if they clicked on that new product announcement, you can say, well, did they buy or did they not buy? If they bought the product, maybe you automatically want to try to upsell them something else that might go with that product or something else in that category. And that gets sent out automatically. If they didn't buy, maybe you send them an offer on that product and say, hey, if you go back to that link, you can get 10% off. Okay. And if they still don't buy, maybe you pass along, since they keep on clicking but not buying, maybe you send that contact information to the sales rep to have them call them. Okay. And if they ignore it, maybe you send an offer. If they still ignore it, maybe you send them another offer, and you can kind of have this go through a loop of offers, and then eventually, they would end. Okay, and you could say, they must not be interested, so let's move on, and you would take them out of that category for the next email blast. All along this process, the CRM system can do something called lead scoring, and basically what that is let me I'll show that slide in a second. I just wanted to show you what the marketing campaign might look like. Okay, so this is the tool that VAI uses. It's from a company called Active Campaign, and there's a lot of good marketing tools. HubSpot has a built-in one into their CRM system. This is one that's third party, but it integrates to many ERP systems, including VAI's, right? And basically, it keeps track of these campaigns you're doing, right? And basically, it allows you to create a very, very professional-looking campaign, right? So you can say, I want to base my campaign on past sales history. So people who've bought this category in the past, or people who've spent a certain dollar amount with us, or maybe in a certain territory or region. You can really be very, very specific of what you want to send out, right? And you create a very nice, elegant campaign, right? And then what happens is once you send that out, based on their behavior and actions, as you can see here, that's what will trigger those automated emails, right? So you can see if they open the email, maybe you want to do something. If they click on the email, maybe you want to do something. If they go to your web page, maybe you want to do something. If they make a purchase or abandon a cart, right? So you can do a lot of different things based on what they do with that original email, okay? And if you look here, this is how you would set up the sequence. And this is very common in a lot of these tools that you say, after the original email, wait for 2 days. You don't want to, keep on hitting them with stuff, every minute of every day. But after 2 days, if they did something or didn't do something, send off another email, okay? Or if they didn't meet this criteria, move to, was a purchase made, and then you do something else. But the one that I want to concentrate on here is the one that's in green, that is reducing a point score, right? So I was talking to you earlier about, lead scoring. And basically what that is based on all of these interactions with your website, with the emails, whatever they're doing, you're able to look in your CRM and see how engaged your customers are with your marketing efforts. Right. So again, this is the VAI CRM system, but this is a very common screen that people have in most CRM systems, where they're showing you web engagement, fitness, email engagement, and these scores are changing based on, if they're opening emails, maybe they get a plus 5 points. If they go to your website, plus 10 points, and what this really enables you to do is it allows your sales reps to concentrate on customers and leads who are engaging with your marketing efforts. So they don't have to go through a list of, thousands of cold calls or hundreds of cold calls. they can, sort these columns and say, show me who's really engaged right now, because that's the person that's most likely to buy. Okay. So it's a very, very helpful tool for wholesale distributors that are trying to grow their business and find people that are interested in their products and services. Okay. I also mentioned the website earlier. And a lot of times when you send out email campaigns, you might be sending them to your website, or you might be sending them to, to download a catalog. But if you are sending them to your website, a lot of these marketing tools, even the one that we use for vertical active campaign, has something called a site message, so that when they get to the website, you can actually pop up a little, site message that helps you promote the sale even more. Right. So this actually sits on top of your e-commerce page. So whether your e-commerce is the VAI e-commerce or Shopify or Magento, doesn't matter. The email marketing tool can have a pop-up site message to really promote products even more. So again, some things that people are doing that are really exciting. Okay, so the next technology I want to talk about is mobile WMS. Now, there's a lot of technology in WMS that's been very, very popular over the years for wholesale distributors. We've seen wholesale distributors obviously use conveyors, carousels, pick to light, and really everything, voice pick. There's so many different technologies that are out there, and they're all very good. And depending on how your warehouse is designed and the type of products you sell, all of those technologies might be, applicable for your business. But I wanted to concentrate today on, mobile technology. And the reason why I'm concentrating on mobile technology is that this is kind of unique now in the business, where the mobile devices are very inexpensive now, right? So typically, if you remember back, selling the very big RF devices, the Windows CE devices, they would range from anywhere from $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a unit, to really do scanning in your warehouse. And for a lot of smaller businesses or mid-sized businesses, automating their warehouse was a very expensive proposition. And mobile's kind of changed that, right? And that's why I'm saying it's really been a game changer. Not only does it make, the mobile automating your warehouse less money, but it makes it easier to use. Everyone knows how to use a mobile device. It's touch screen. It's, it's very clear, concise data that's, displayed. We're hearing about our warehouse, our wholesale distributors saying the training time has gone from weeks to just a couple of days for training new, warehouse employees. And that's very important when you're having things like, staff shortages, or you're ramping up for peak seasons and you're hiring warehouse people. You want to make it where the training time is quick and fast and efficient. And mobile's really helping our customers do that. Okay. And really what it is, you can kind of see it here. You can run mobile WMS on any Android device, and some even support Apple. But, Android devices are ideal because they're very inexpensive, right? So Zebra makes a couple of rugged Android devices that are probably around anywhere from, $600 to $1,000, all ruggedized with built-in scanners. Or if you want to go ultra cheap, if you look at the photo to the right, this is one of our customers who actually bought a bunch of Samsung Galaxy phones on eBay, bought the phones really cheap, and he just attached a Bluetooth sled for scanning. And that sled cost about $200. So for about $400, he created a device that his people in his warehouse can use to pick and ship product. Okay. And you'll notice that the screens are very clear, concise, and, very user friendly. Right. And then this is the typical process that we see in a warehouse that's using these type of devices, where when the merchandise is delivered, they will scan the items against the PO. So the POs will be loaded up on the mobile device. You'll scan the items against the PO. You can create pallets and print pallet labels, right? And then the system will automatically suggest a put away bin based on how you mapped out your warehouse, or you can do random bin put away, and system will look for space for you. And then basically The put away task is the mobile user goes over to that pallet, scans that pallet, picks it up into their own personal bin location, if you want to call a forklift a bin. And then when they get to their final destination, they'll scan. And now the system knows exactly where everything is in your facility. Okay. And then this is just kind of showing you on a flow chart how wholesale distributors are doing these processes. Okay. On the shipping side, what we're seeing wholesale distributors do is use a order or route management tool on their back office product. Again, this is the VAI ERP, but a lot of ERP systems have this. Some call it like a order queue or a shipping queue or something like that. And basically what they do is they look at the orders that need to ship. In this case, you can look at it by order number. And if you're doing your own trucks, you might look at it by route, right? You want to look at the New York route, Long Island route, Massachusetts route, New Jersey route. You can look at it by routes, right? And then what happens is someone in the back office organizes those, shipments and then sends it out to the mobile devices, okay? And then when the mobile devices pick it up, they can pick and ship it. So want to show you an example of the VAI route management tool, because if you have your own trucks, organizing your deliveries by route is a really, really efficient way to, pick your orders and, stage them at a door location. You'll also be able to check if the truck is, getting full and you have to split out to another truck. And there's a lot of great technologies that are being used to help people who do their own truck routing. One of them is from Omnitrax, and it used to be called RoadNet, but there are a bunch of different other technologies that do this. Descartes does this, Appy, a couple of other different types of solutions. Omnitrax, RoadNet seems to be the most popular that is out there. But basically, if you have your own trucks, tools like this will take all the orders, and based on your capacities of your vehicles, based on the locations that they need to go to, based on the customer service arrival times and departure times that they can arrive. These types of tools will automatically build your routes for you, trying to save you the most fuel and operational costs and vehicle wear. So they do that, and then they send back to you. I'll just back up a screen. They will send back to you the route. So basically you send the order file and it returns to you, hey, you're going to need 6 trucks here to deliver those orders in the most efficient process. Okay, so a lot of customers are using this technology that I'm showing here for, proactively balancing routes and capacity across your trucks. Okay, another tool, if you do your own truck building, is a truck mapping tool. And this is a VAI tool that's in our food package. And this is very popular for food customers who want to kind of mix and match and move items around on pallets and have the system kind of build a pallet for you automatically and then make adjustments for it. And this is a very, very popular tool with our food customers. It's called a truck builder or truck map. You might hear it called a couple of different things, but it really helps you just organize the truck so you know what pallets, when you get to the delivery stop, you'll know that this pallet is for, XYZ customer and what's on that pallet and things like that. Very, very popular tool. Okay. And then obviously, once that's all built, you can see that, now your pickers are maybe picking to a pallet and they're being told exactly where to go in a clean, concise manner. So the mobile devices, this is again is an example of the VAI WMS, but you can see that it's really easy to follow. I know I got to pick this item in this bin location. When I get there, I can just touch the screen, say I'm here. I can scan the products. It'll make sure you deliver, pick 4. If you pick it short, it can mark it short and, print the shorts report and stuff like that. So really, really easy to use. And it's really saving a lot of training time with, the customers that are doing this. Okay. And just, again, some of the things our customers say, most of these customers, really weren't doing a lot of scanning. And now that they're doing scanning, their efficiencies have gone up, their fill rates have gone up, their errors have gone dramatically down, their back orders have gone down, just really great customer service. Okay. Next technology. Third one is supply and demand planning. Want to talk about that. Actually, I think this is the fourth one. So supply and demand planning is really a critical component for wholesale distributors because, a lot of our distributors cover, thousands and thousands of products, right? Some may have, 30,000 products, SKUs, or might have a bunch of different product lines, and buying the old fashioned way where you're running sales reports and stock status reports. And, we see this all the time with buyers kind of, their desk is filled with paper and they're trying to figure out what to buy. That type of buying is really very old. It's inefficient and it's really not very cost effective. So supply and demand planning tools are a critical technology that wholesale distributors are using. The other reason why we're seeing this is that, a lot of times buyers have a lot of, what to do with a certain supplier in their head, right? They kept a lot of, knowledge in their head. And if they ever leave your company, that knowledge leaves with them. So, the next person coming in takes a while to ramp them up. And the supply and demand planning tool, at least from a mathematical and forecasting side, can really help, new buyers get up to speed with your products very, very quickly. So, and why is that? Let me just show you a quick little screen here. And basically why that is because the system uses advanced formulas for forecasting, right? So if you look at this, simple chart here, the blue is your actual sales, right? So when looking at a product, the blue, lines here is representing your actual sales. And you can kind of see, they jump all over the place. We have good, good months, bad months, but if you look at the forecast, based on looking at that pattern, systems can say, well, this is pretty typical of what I see here. You can kind of see it's an increase in sales, believe it or not. It's kind of moving in an upward direction, and it does fluctuate at certain points in times. And mathematically, the system can then say, this is what I feel your average daily usage is going to be at this point in time, and what your order point should be, at this specific period. Right. So based on that, then the system can make recommendations for you. And again, I'm showing you the VAI, supply and demand planning system. But typically what our customers do is they come in and they see a screen like this that says, hey, these are the suppliers you need to buy from. These are suppliers where, some of their items have dropped below their order point, BOP, below order point. Okay. And they can go into these screens and they can see, hey, what items need to be ordered. Okay. And, a buyer can come in and say, oh, I see the items that need to be ordered and what the system's recommending, right? I can drill into that item. I can see, a nice graph of chart of historical data. I can see even the math, right? So if they're saying, oh, why did it tell me to buy 1,000 of these? They can click on analysis and see the math that was used, what the lead time was, what the usage was. They can review the usage if they want to. But basically, it's, taking all the legwork out of, doing this by hand. Okay. Another thing that, these types of tools offer is great what if scenarios. So during COVID, if you remember, sometimes the supplier couldn't get you the product in their standard lead time. They would say, hey, my lead time has gone from 15 days, maybe to 30 days. And what you can do is you can change the lead time in a lot of these tools, and it will automatically, again, mathematically recalculate your usage over that time period and give you a new suggested buy. So it's just a really great tool for wholesale distributors, and they're really making very, very effective inventory decisions. We've had quite a few distributors that have said, we've reduced our overall inventory, in some cases 20%, but we've increased our fill rates with our customers. So just really great tools. Some of the other things, if you have multiple locations, a lot of these tools can recommend warehouse transfers rather than buys. So you can see I have a negative suggested buy here in location 10, but I have other locations that need that product. So you can see something like this where it says, well, you have 263 that you can move out. Where do you want to move it? Versus buying. Okay, so that can help really smooth out some of your warehouse locations and give stock to the places that it's really selling. Okay. Another tool that we see in the supply and demand planning process is something called forward buying. And basically what this is an optimum buy based on a price increase or a promo discount. So, and this really takes into consideration carrying cost. Okay, obviously you need to have the space to handle the additional inventory. So space might be a consideration, although it's not considered here in the mathematical formulas. But basically what it's saying here is if there's a price increase or a promo, whether it be $1% or discount, the system can automatically suggest for you based on carrying cost an optimum buy to that. So it originally might tell you, they wanted you to buy 920 of these if you look in the lower right. But if you're going to get a 2% price increase, you might want to buy 1,166. Okay, and it does, the net savings over cost, right? So these kind of tools really help, wholesale distributors be very effective with their buying. Okay, and the last thing on this tool I want to talk about is target buying. This has been around for a while, but in case you don't know what it is, when you're looking at a purchase order for a vendor, sometimes a vendor will have a target that they want you to hit to give you, free freight or sometimes a discount. That target can be a weight or amount or a cube or number of pallets or, whatever it may be. And you can plug that into this tool. And then basically what it will do is say, well, here's the original suggestion. If you want to hit that target, this is how many more you need to buy. Okay. So as an example, you can see some products popped up that weren't even needed, but they were close to their order point, but they weren't needed just yet. So they added them to the buy and said, hey, if you want to hit that target, whether it be like a weight or a cube or a dollar amount, this is what the new quantities will be to hit that target. And that might help you get free freight or something like that. And the buyer would know if it's a good deal, right? If you're bringing in, 14 days of additional inventory, is that, a good buy or not? Okay. All right. So lastly, business intelligence. And business intelligence has really become kind of imperative if you're running any type of ERP system, because today ERP systems just generate massive amounts of data, and it's become really critical that companies use analytics to better understand that data, right? So with so much data, how do I easily identify an opportunity or a trend or an issue that I might have in my business? And analytics is the way to do that, right? So just going to show you some of the VAI dashboards, but very typically analytics can help you measure what is called key performance indicators, right? So you want to measure things like, dead stock, you want to measure turnover, you want to measure GMROI, gross profit, fill rates, right? And a tool like this, we actually call this screen the health check screen, because it really helps you understand if your business is healthy or sick. So we call it health check, but you can see, hey, is my fill rates going, getting better, right? In this case, February to March, it's actually going down. Are my turns getting better? Is my profitability getting better? Is my lost sales increasing or decreasing? Are my order values going up? Is my dead stock going down? These are the types of things that you should be able to understand at a glance against your, ERP system without having to really dig for this information, right? So that's why analytics is very, very important. And then obviously the other added benefit is that you can drill down into this information, right? So if you saw sales were increasing or decreasing, maybe you want to go to a dashboard and really say, well, let me look at a specific year or quarter or a month, and let me look at my top customers and my profitability and where my sales are coming from. So you really have the ability to analyze your business very strongly, right? Let me see what types of products are selling, what the product categories are selling, what items are selling, right? These are the types of things that are really, really popular. If your fill rate was your concern, maybe you run a fill rate report and you can see, what are customers that are having bad fill rates? And obviously, if this is an important customer, you might want to drill down into that customer and see, well, these are the categories they buy. And it looks like, office technology is not doing all that well. And we go in here and we see, well, we've been out of stock. On these products, we're good, but on this product, we've been out of stock a lot, right? So maybe you want to increase your safety stock on that product or something like that. So again, these types of tools are very, very helpful in helping you run your business. Another one that customers really like is what we call our slow moving inventory report. And this is another one of those KPIs, like when you talk about dead stock, right? You run a detailed report like this that you can do in analytics that says, hey, I got inventory that I'm sitting here for 24 months that hasn't really sold, right? So you would, click on the top and it would bring up this bottom half and say, yeah, here's the items that haven't sold. This is the last order date. This was the last time we bought it. This is the cost and how much inventory we're carrying on this. And then you can see to the right, there might be some actions you want to take. You want to change the price. You want to switch sales location. You want to write it off, whatever. So again, really just helping you run the business is what analytics can help you do. Okay. So as I mentioned, I just want to talk about two honorable mentions that didn't make my top 5, but they're definitely technologies that are up and coming, and we are seeing them in the wholesale distribution space. The first one is robotics, right? So we are getting some of our customers moving to robotic devices for their picking and shipping with some success. I will say, we have customers that have had mixed reviews on it. I will say this about robotics. I see the success if your products are very small, right? So, because typically what it likes to do, the robot, is like pick up a whole shelf of product, bring it over to a packer, let the person pack it up, and then return the shelf. It does okay with pallets. Maybe just moving around a pallet to a specific area is okay. But we have a bunch of electronics companies, companies that sell electronic wire or cables or stuff like that have introduced some robotics into their wholesale distribution warehouse, and they are having success with it. So it really depends on your types of products you sell as to whether or not that technology will be effective or a must-have in your business. The other side of the fence is AI, right? And you probably hear, and you're probably getting a lot of information about artificial intelligence, how it's going to change the world and change business and all this kind of stuff. And we're starting to see some of it in wholesale distribution. There are a couple of products that VAI uses today. One of them is called Proton AI. And what that is that's a tool that really works in conjunction with your website, where based on your sales history, it runs that data through an AI engine. And when someone's buying something on your website, it can recommend products that people have bought, who also bought that product, right? So, it's the old adage like that people who buy diapers also buy beer. Unrelated, they're not necessarily complementary, but artificial intelligence can kind of find those links, right? Where they're saying, hey, those two products you may not think they go together, but based on the sales data that I've seen in the past, I'm going to make that recommendation to this customer on your website that they should also look at these products, right? So that's kind of putting in some artificial intelligence into the ERP world. There are other uses. A lot of the AI stuff has really been very popular for office productivity, right? So when you have people wanting to learn about a subject matter or a contract maybe, or just wanting to know about the success of maybe a product in a certain region, they can go into some of the AI engines, and you can do this today on Google's Genie or Watson or some of the other tools that are out there, and ask questions about, what's the marketplace for this product, or where do you see this product going in the next 5 years? So from a business decision standpoint, it can be very, very helpful. VAI is looking at AI for the supply and demand planning side, although what we are finding is the arithmetic formulas today are doing a little bit better job than AI, because of, they don't really understand the lost sales data. When you lose a sale, how does that affect your purchasing decision? So there's a lot of variables that AI is still working on, so to speak, to really get a good suggested system. But it can forecast pretty well. It's a good tool for doing forecasting. So AI is coming, and we'll continue to look at that tool. And we're actually meeting with IBM tomorrow to work with their AI engine and work it into our ERP system. So that types of technology is coming. Okay, so that's what we had. I know we were a little over on our time today, but I hope you found the technology helpful, and I hope that you could see that there's a lot of great tools that are out there that are really driving success in wholesale distribution. And if you want more information on any of the technology you saw, you can go to the VAI website. All the screens we showed were VAI solutions. Or you can Google those solutions and look for yourselves as to the technology that's out there that accomplishes those tasks. But that's what we see as the hot technology, and we wish you much success in the future of your business. Thank you.